Piracy and armed robbery incidents in the Singapore Strait saw a threefold increase in 2019 compared to the previous year. The data was released today at the 11th Nautical Forum in Singapore. And senior military leaders from 4 regional countries are meeting today and tomorrow to discuss ways to deter such incidents in their territorial waters. Faraz Juraimi has the story.
On Christmas Day last month, an oil tanker in the Singapore Strait was boarded by pirates. That was the 6th attack in as many days, which regional piracy watchdog RECAP says is a serious concern. Backing up those concerns were numbers released today by the Regional Cooperation Agreement on Combating Piracy and Armed Robbery Against Ships in Asia Information Sharing Centre. 31 piracy and armed robbery incidents were reported in the Singapore Strait in 2019, a big jump from only 7 incidents in 2018. One expert says the sheer volume of ships passing through the strait means opportunities are many for pirates. Another issue is addressing gaps in enforcement.
The rise in number of incidences in the Singapore Strait coincided at a time when the Indonesian Navy was having a reshuffling of its surface fleet among their 14 naval bases. I would say there is a close correlation between the time of which they are shuffling their vessels and the spike that we saw in 2018 and 2019. Most of the incidences that you see so far are taking place in the eastbound lane of the traffic separation scheme in the Singapore Strait, and that is the lane that is closer to the Indonesian side of the waters.
Vessels like bulk carriers, tankers and barges were the main targets in the Singapore Strait last year. 15 incidents occurred in the westbound lane, which is closer to Singapore. Stolen items in these instances were mainly scrap metals from barges. The remaining 16 incidents happened in the eastbound lane, which is closer to Indonesia. Items taken included engine parts, scrap metals and personal belongings. RECAP says countering the problem has to be a collective effort.
What is important is for the 3 littoral states, Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia, to enhance the surveillance and patrols in their own waters and to cooperate among them for the exchange of information.
Cooperation to that was strengthened as far back as 2004 with the setting up of Malacca Straits Patrol by Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand. Measures undertaken include the Malacca Straits Sea Patrol and combined maritime air patrols. Military leaders from the 4 littoral states are in Singapore for 2 days to discuss how to reinforce information sharing and operational coordination. Overall, 82 incidents of piracy and armed robbery were reported in Asia in 2019, an 8% increase from 2018. Despite the slight rise, the number is the 2nd lowest since 2007, when RECAP began compiling reports.